Would you mind sharing with us how much your 2-bedroom home costs you per month?
$150.
See, I'm done.
What?
I'm just done. I'm done. Is this a 2-bath? This is a 1-bath? What?
Okay, let me hold it. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, yard. Everything is there. Living room, dining room, a huge kitchen with an island.
Because I knew you had a garden, because when you said when you walk out into the yard and you see the trees, I'm like, the trees is talking to her. She got to have a yard. Okay, whatever.
Yes.
Whatever. Hey, and welcome back to Blacks to Africa. I'm your host, Toddre Monier, and I'm so excited because right now I have a guest from New York. And I'm actually in Lamu. I'm here for work. And I was at a cafe with the homie from Philly and his woman from Lamu. And I was just chopping it up, chopping it up. And then somebody says, "Excuse me," with a New York accent. "I just heard you guys talking. I hope you don't mind. Where are y'all from?" And of course, the US. So we invited her to sit down with us. We had a conversation. We clicked. We hung out. And I was like, you know what? I want to interview you for my show. I think you would be great. I think people want to hear your story. And as you know, the purpose of this limited series, Blacks into Africa, is to encourage my people, Africans in the diaspora, whether you're someone like myself who's been separated for centuries or somebody who's just in the global north making your coin. Bring your talents, bring your resources back to Africa. And so I have people on just to show you that it can be done. People of all walks of life. So without further ado, let's bring our latest guest to the table. She's such a vision. Bringing that passion fruit juice.
Beautiful.
Now get a look at this little deer that she picked up in Lamu for 350 shillings. We call these diras at home, we call them moo-moos. It's so beautiful, but look, I got got. I paid 700 for mine. Now look at her. Isn't she beautiful? Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask her to introduce herself because she has some names I haven't quite mastered them. Please.
So my name is Ifasewa Fatooyin, also known as Angel, which in Tanzania they say Malaika.
Okay, so in Kiswahili it's Malaika.
Yes.
People here, they tend to know you as Malaika, yes?
Malaika, yes, here in Kenya.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So, my series, and it's a limited series, right? I'm putting this out there. If the people catch on, they catch on. If they don't, they don't. But it's a limited series, and it is designed to encourage people of African descent to return to the motherland.
Yes.
Whether you're someone like myself who's been separated for centuries, or you're someone who's just in the global north making your coin. My opinion is that they don't deserve us. And bring your resources, bring your talent, bring your money back home. You know what I'm saying? So that's the purpose of this series. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because I met you here in Kenya. You on your little vacay, you know what I'm saying? Right? But you live in TZ. You live in Tanzania. So just tell us, what was the pivotal moment when you was in the US and you was like, I'm done?
Woo! That's a loaded question. No. I think the largest pivotal point was when COVID hit. And I was like, I can't do this. I cannot stay in a place that is forcing people to do things losing things very quickly. There were a lot of jobs lost, a lot of people were passing away. Nobody really had any answers except for whatever the news was saying. And I did not want to be caught up in that. So I decided to leave.
Okay.
I've always wanted to come to Africa. I always told myself, oh, when I turn 60, I'm going to come to Africa.
Not 60.
Yes, I really did.
Not
I really
60.
did.
For most of your life is over.
It's over, right? So, I came earlier, thank goodness, and it has been the best choice I have made, especially with pressure. I don't feel any pressure.
I love that. So what do you mean by pressure?
Pressure of being black. Let's just be real. Pressure of being black. If I walk outside, is a cop going to shoot me? Is there going to be a Karen that's going to blame me for something and the police are going to come? Am I going to get caught up in a shooting? Just so much pressure of just life. Just life. Just wondering, am I going to make it through the day today?
Really?
Like, just the
Was that
reality
something-
of that.
Was that something that you carried around with you every day? Or was that just like a fleeting thought?
Every day. I always
Wow.
thought like something was going to happen. Something was just random, because random people were being shot.
That's
Random people were getting hurt. Random people were being locked up. All of those things were happening. So I didn't want to be one of the randoms.
And it's still happening.
Right.
So let's go back a little bit. You are from New York. What part of New York?
From Crown Heights, Brooklyn. I also hey, Brooklyn, what's up? So I also stayed in Harlem, 135th Street and 7th Ave. I've also lived in New Jersey. I've lived in Asbury Park, New Jersey. And the last place I lived was in California.
What part of Cali?
Riverside, California.
Okay, Southern California.
In Los Feliz, by the mountains.
Oh yeah, Los Feliz is nice. You know what I mean? It's pretty much gentrified now, but Los Feliz is
right?
nice. Okay. So I told the people before we brought you in that we clicked. You know what I'm saying? We've been
Yes.
hanging out. She's leaving tomorrow. She's going back to TZ tomorrow.
Dude.
But we gonna do some things today. We gonna get in the pool today, maybe do a little ocean. We'll see.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you tell us what you do? I know you from what you've expressed to me as a mindfulness expert. You've been doing that since 1999, but you also do some dance.
Yes,
Okay.
so I teach Afro-Cuban dance, and I teach Afro-Cuban dance in comparison to African dance.
Okay.
I also am a mindfulness coach. That's the main thing that I do, helping a lot of people through COVID. And yeah,
That's amazing. No, I did not know that piece about the dance because I studied Afro-Cuban, Afro-Brazilian, of course, West African dance for many years. I've been doing the West African dance since I was like yay high. And then in DC, I would take classes with my girl Angie. I did, Middle East, I should say like belly dancing as well for like 6 years. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why we clicking like
as
that.
soon as we hear music, we
Yes,
start to move.
I love that. So talk to me about, mindfulness coach, helping people through COVID.
Yes.
I actually was in Tanzania on vacay during COVID. And then, of course, I was also reading the headlines. And I saw what was happening in TZ. The rules was like a bit lax at the time. I was living in Uganda. What was your experience like that, like living there during that period?
It was like it didn't exist. That was it. It was like it didn't even exist. And it was, there was another piece of it that I felt proud to be in Tanzania. It was that they felt like they were so filled with what they believed in, be it if they, were Christian, Muslim, or what, that it was not going to come their way. And then to see that play out was just, I don't even have any words for it.
Really?
It was so beautiful just to see them just walk with that. And, you know, no, COVID's not here. We eat ginger, garlic, onion, you know, and they were right. It was not in high numbers. It was mostly people who came to Tanzania, you know, foreigners that came to Tanzania, but they were on it. If one person on that plane, let me tell you, had COVID, they were flipping that plane right on around and sending them right on back.
Really? They
were not playing. There was no jokes, no nothing about it at all. They meant it. Like, no, we are people that do not have COVID. We're not playing with COVID. We're going to keep our numbers low. And they did it. They did it.
Okay,
100%.
so
So no mask, no nothing.
Okay, so I guess the news that we were getting in Uganda was really dramatic, like overly dramatic, trumped up. Because the news that we were getting in Uganda is that there were secret burials. And then, of course, Magufuli died of COVID, which really the whole world was like, see?
I don't want to make comment on how he died. I don't think he just died.
You don't? Okay.
I'm gonna leave it like that.
That's fair.
Y'all know what I mean.
Okay. I'm not gonna go into it because I don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, Uganda. It was very, very strict. Like we couldn't even leave our neighborhoods.
Oh wow.
Private cars were banned. Right, unless you had a special sticker, then of course people figured out how to get around that. You know what I mean? But our curfew, I think, was like 7 p.m., which I actually kind of like because that gave me an excuse to go home early, you know. But yeah, it was really bad. And then I would just say strict.
Rwanda was strict.
Yeah.
Rwanda was very strict. Tanzania was not strict.
No.
And I'm just walking around. I'm going on the buses and getting on the boda, and everybody was fine.
Yeah, bodas were banned. Bodas was banned. In fact, the police got me. The police got me on the boda. I tried to lie. I was like, but I'm pregnant. They was like, because I was like, oh, you let those other people go. Oh no, she was pregnant. I was like, well, I'm pregnant too. They was like, are you really pregnant? Because if we take you to the station and we find out you're not pregnant, which I wasn't thinking, I was like, maybe they do got pregnancy tests at the station. So another area that you and I share is mindfulness.
Yes.
I practice mindfulness. I've been meditating since I was in college, really. But now it's like an everyday thing. I practice Tantra, want to go deeper into Tantra. But I also manage the social media and I would just say website content for a mindfulness expert in San Francisco. So when you said that you were a mindfulness professional, that just really piqued my interest. So tell me more about how you work and how you were able to heal people, work with people during COVID.
So for the mindfulness that I do, the mindfulness coaching is to allow more space on the inside so then we can manifest what it is that we want to manifest. And I'm an Ifa practitioner. I'm an Awo. So I use the structure of Ifa to be able to help people through. And I'll give you an example.
Can you explain what Ifa is?
Ifa is it's from Nigeria. It's a West African way of life. And it's based on good character, period.
I like that.
It's based on good character. If you don't have good character, there's no practice in Ifa. It's also the vibration that turns into words from Olodumare. In layman terms, a lot of people like to say that Olodumare is God. Olodumare is not quote-unquote God, like a biblical God. However, it is the seen and the unseen. So I practice good character every day, and I really love Ifa because I really do believe that your character is the only thing that speaks for you. It doesn't matter what dimension you're in, your character speaks for you to get you somewhere, to take you out of something It's your character that speaks. Some people you could just meet people, they don't even say anything, and their character is in front of them, and you can feel it. Like, I really do believe that character is everything. So that's why I practice Ifa, because it's based on good character and manifesting the destiny as to why you even came here. So,
so purpose.
So yeah, purpose, meaningful living, essential living, living skills, all of that is in Ifa. And the number one thing that I also use in mindfulness from Ifa is good health.
Okay.
What are you feeling in your body? Are you mindful of what is going on in your body? Do you feel that if you felt it, you would just pass out or cry or just burst or just, what does it feel like inside of your body? Living that life.
And how do you get people to access that?
I ask them main questions. So as a coach, you ask them main questions, and then depending upon their answer, that will let you know how much space they even have inside of them. So I'll give an example. Like, let's just say if somebody tells me that they're going through a negative relationship, I don't care if it's a job relationship with somebody, like whatever type of relationship, my first question is, why are you there?
To get a check. I mean, that's most people's answers, right? To get a check.
Get a check from the job. Yes, right? Why are you there? Why is it that you believe that you cannot embrace more? Why is this only worth a job? Where's your creative skills that you're giving, to the world, to your family, to yourself? Where is that? Is it just out there somewhere? Is it always buzzing through your head, or you just don't think of it at all because you're living check to check? I need to pull that. I need to know what that is. So then I can take you to the next step of prosperity and wealth and what that actually means to you. However, if I can't get you past the first part of living in your body, we can't get to money. We can't get to what you think is really valuable, and it's not in your circle. Because first thing I need to know is, how are you living in your body? What's that feel like?
What are daily practices for someone who wants to begin practicing mindfulness?
Hold your head. Every morning is tangible. I like to give people tangible things.
Okay.
Hold your head every morning and say a prayer. Give praise to your Ori, which is your head. Give praise to that every day. That is the only thing you can't lose. See, people can lose fingers and arms and toes, but you can't lose your head. That's the only thing you can. So give praise to the very thing that keeps you here. Every single day, making a new choice, making an abundant choice, making a choice of wisdom. Those types of choices. Your head. That's how you start.
Okay. That's no, I'm just like, okay. Because if you do lose your head, that's the end of you on this plane. That's the end of you.
Then it's like
in this life. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's such a simple practice. I feel like as human beings, particularly in the global north, if it's not difficult, we don't believe it. Right? So just like for you to say, oh, just hold your head and say a prayer. Right now, I'm feeling my heartbeat in my head, actually. And as I'm talking, I'm feeling the vibration in my head, right? So it's like I'm more cognizant of what I'm praying. But because we've been taught, like, you got to take this class, and you got to suffer, and you got to sacrifice this, and you know what I mean? We think that something as simple as what you've done is what you've suggested is not going to work.
And that is the biggest thing about mindfulness. Mindfulness is simple. It is very simple. And that's why I think that's another reason why people like to come to Africa. It's because, living a simple life and minimalism and all of that different stuff is new to the West.
Yeah, it is. We're going back to it.
Right.
Right.
So here it's every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day they're mindful of how they feel, what they're going to do, how purposeful it is, how essential it is. All of those they're on point with it every day because they don't have the distractions that we have in the West, or in other countries. So mindfulness is very simple. It's heartbreaking, right? That we have learned to believe that we have to struggle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a mindset given to us. That wasn't a mindset that we naturally have.
I mean, you're talking about simplicity. I
Mm-hmm.
live in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, where
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, it's at this point in my life, I want to slow down a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But the coast is just a little bit too slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want to go back and forth. But life in Nairobi is not simple. I'll just say that
Oh.
it's life in Nairobi is not simple,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of distractions. And I find that people do have less time for their loved ones. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
Kampala, yes, there are distractions partying, but people do have time to be with their loved ones. Well, I've talked a little bit about my life in Nairobi. Tell us about Arusha, because I've been to Arusha a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
and Arusha's a town,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a slower pace of life, and so tell me about Arusha, why you chose Arusha, what your life is like there.
Mm-hmm. So, in Arusha, Tanzania, it is much slower. It's not too fast and it's not too slow. So I live more so in a village. However, it's not too village to where there's nothing around, right? There are, I still have like the stores are around me and things like that. But, in the morning you see the Maasai, they walk by with the cows and the goats and stuff like that. And it's very peaceful. Arusha, where I live at in Ola City, is very quiet. And that's something that I really wanted. I really wanted something that was very quiet, very peaceful. The people are loving, they help a lot. Mama Eric's family, as soon as I got there, took me in. Emmanuel and all of them took me in, gave me Maasai clothing and everything, without asking for anything. So I really appreciated that, I love the house that I live in because it's a 2-bedroom house.
So I know Arusha town, but you
Mm-hmm.
said you live in a village within Arusha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Arusha is the whole area. So in Arusha, it's like in New York you have Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. So in Arusha you have smaller towns inside of Arusha.
Okay.
And I live in Ola City.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the only African American out there?
No.
No. Okay.
There's quite a few of us actually.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I can walk to their house.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I like that you said you wanted quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about some more of the pros. Like, give me your number one reason for staying in Arusha, because some people they pack up and they say, I'm coming to Africa. They go to a place and they say, you know what, this place is not for me. And they try out different locations. But would you say Arusha's going to be your final resting place?
I pray so. I pray so.
Wow.
The number one thing about Arusha, where I live at, is peace.
Now, what's one of the cons, since we're going to keep it real, what's one of the cons of living in Tanzania, Arusha specifically? Wow, she really got to think.
You know what? I would think the answer that I'm going to give is for everywhere.
Okay.
I think when people do not have citizenship or residency, you're homeless until you have that.
Okay.
So having to deal with immigration has been the most difficult.
Okay.
But in Arusha, Tanzania is fine.
Okay, so
see what
you
I'm
ain't had no
saying?
water shortages, no power shortages, nothing like that?
You know, we're prepared. So we have water that's set aside. We haven't had long periods
Okay.
of water or electricity or things like that going out. I say the biggest challenge is internet,
Okay.
because I'm closer to the village than I am to the city.
Gotcha.
But other than that,
Wow.
so I like that it's slower like that, because it constantly, for me, it reminds me there's nothing that important than being here right now with the Creator. There's
See,
nothing more
yeah.
important. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but then my next question is
Okay, the Creator is popping, y'all.
you go ahead, put it behind your ear, girl.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me just work this out right now. Okay.
Okay, so you are not dependent on the internet for your livelihood. Is that the case?
I am dependent on the internet for my livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm not dependent to the part to where I would be stressed out if it went out.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can get with that. I can definitely get with that. Because when my internet goes out as a writer, and I write on, a real-time platform, I get frustrated. And we don't have a generator. Well, we do have a generator where I live. It's just not hooked up.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay, so I'll end up going across the street to a cafe, which,
Okay.
they have a generator. It's an inconvenience, but I need that. And I've heard people say, like, the reason why they've chosen Nairobi specifically is because the infrastructure tends to be a lot more stable.
Yes.
But somebody like yourself, who's just on another level, you're able to vibrate here. You're not as dependent on the internet as somebody like myself, right? Or maybe even somebody who does day trading for a living. You can do something like Village Life.
Yes, yes. Or for the people that I know that live in Arusha that really, really need the internet like a lot, then they'll go and they'll get a solar panel, a small solar panel, and they will just use that. So when the electricity goes out, their internet is still on and popping. That's why I also tell people, before you leave America, please bring your own small solar pack. Don't leave America without a solar pack, because maybe the place that you're choosing to go to may not have that, or it may not be as accessible.
Right.
So make sure you bring it with you.
Okay.
From America.
Yeah, I never even thought about having something like that in the city. So talk to us about the money, because I think that's one of the things that holds people back. How am I going to survive? How am I going to make it? Did you have a savings, investments to sustain you while you were here? No. Okay. You're like me. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not. I came here with maybe $1,000 or $1,500, and I just went from there.
Dang, you a G. No, you a G.
I was like, I'm out.
You a G, and you figured it out.
I figured it out. Figured it out. Just start your own business. Just do whatever it is that you have to do. Or start your business in America, bring it over here. Do whatever it is that you have to do. But you do need to have at least 3 streams of income coming in.
Okay.
One maybe you're thinking about that you're doing, and the other 2 you ain't even thinking about it.
Okay.
So, and a lot of people want to rely on YouTube. They should not rely just on YouTube, because if YouTube decides not to pay you or don't send the check or something, then you can really be stuck. Make sure you have something that is consistent. Whatever it is, just make sure it's just consistently going directly to your account. So
YouTube, and let me tell you something, like YouTube is also a hustle. Being a content creator is a hustle.
Huge hustle.
Even more than, I would say, working a 9 to 5. because after we
Yes.
shoot this, I have to find time to edit, which takes me hours, and then I have to upload it. And if we're talking about uploading this in a place that doesn't have 5G, baby, because when I lived in Zanzibar, I would start the upload process right before I went to bed, in the hopes that when I got up in the morning 8 hours later, it would be done.
Yes.
And that's not always the case. Sometimes
That's
it would
right.
go out while I was sleeping, and then I have to start all over.
Oh, I feel you.
Anyway.
And then sometimes in some areas you can't do live. You cannot do YouTube Live. You can't do Facebook Live. You can't. They automatically have a block in some areas in order to make sure that their people are not just going to pop up on camera all over the place. So they do have like little spots that you can't just film live.
Oh wow, that's
so
interesting.
It's real. So that's so my mindfulness coaching is like the main thing of how I receive my income. I do, teach classes or things like that. I also teach IFA classes by donation, and so I do different things that are not just to make me money, but something I can do and it makes me happy.
I feel you.
It makes me happy, and then the money that I receive, even if it's small, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay because I'm here. I'm in Tanzania, and the money is double.
Right.
If you make $10 online, then that's $20 in Tanzania.
Now,
so I love that.
Yeah, and you're living in a village. And first of all, Tanzania is probably one of the least expensive countries in East Africa. When I think of it's cheaper than Rwanda, it's cheaper than Kenya. I think it's probably even cheaper than Uganda, than Kampala, specifically. So, and then you're living outside of the town, so you get your fresh fruits and vegetables.
Whoa.
You're getting them for, very little.
Clean water from the mountain. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody thinks everywhere in Africa they don't have clean water. They have clean water. It's around. It is around. If you can be near the mountain, it's around. But yeah, the organic food is slamming. Like,
it is.
When I bit that mango,
yeah,
I was like, wait a minute, is this what a mango really tastes like?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like the banana, and then this is what got me, sis. The pineapple.
See,
you go to the store in America, that pineapple is going to be so acidic. And you can't even eat it to the core. But here, you can eat it to the core, and it's not super acidic or anything like that. I love that.
No, I mean, that's facts. And when I left Zanzibar and came to Kampala and then Nairobi, I noticed that the quality of the fruit is not like the quality in Tanzania. It's a lesser quality in that the fertilizers that are used, there's GMO. I never had to worry about that in Zanzibar, but I'm telling you, the first time I ate a tomato in Zanzibar, and Zanzibar is a part of Tanzania, my brain synapses just went off, and
yes.
Of course you got to eat everything within like 3 days, but that's a key indicator of the freshness.
That's
because I done had some carrots in my refrigerator in Nairobi for a couple of weeks now, and they still orange. Exactly. So now I've done a little research, and I found out where I can get organic fruits and vegetables in Nairobi. So if you are somebody who values what you put into your body, and you value your peace, Tanzania is a place to be. Tanzania is a place to be. And they also, it's on, you got a coast. So you do have access to a beach.
Yes, you have access
like myself.
to okay.
Water sign. You need the water.
And like the goat, I'm at the top of the mountain. So I love that. Yeah, that Tanzania has, you have the high mountains. It has the largest mountain, which is Kilimanjaro. But then it has Mount Meru, which is the second, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, the waterfalls and it's just so beautiful and just breathtaking. It really looks like I'm walking in Natural Geographic, just walking around. Like, It's amazing. The flowers, the smells, It's just so beautiful. So, and then to have a choice if you want to go to the beach.
I want to go back to the money piece. Do you do most of your mindfulness coaching online?
I do.
Okay, that makes sense. Would you mind sharing with us how much your 2-bedroom home costs you per month?
$150.
See, I'm done.
What?
I'm just done. I'm done. Is this a 2-bath? This is a 1-bath? What?
Okay, let me hold it. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, yard. Everything is there. Living room, dining room, a huge kitchen with an island.
Because I knew you had a garden, because when you said when you walk out into the yard and you see the trees, I'm like, the trees is talking to her. She got to have a yard. Okay, whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
And then, you know what? This is also different than in the West. We pay every 3 months.
Yeah.
Pay every 3
Well,
months.
I
instead of every
mean,
month.
you got it.
Like 450.
You got it. You know what I'm saying? You
know.
got that and school fees. Okay, so I like that you haven't shared any stories about people trying to take advantage of you and things of that nature.
Because this happens in New York.
Yeah.
The same thing happens in New York. Somebody's trying to get a little bit more money. But you know what does happen in New York that has not happened a lot to me in Tanzania at all, is people begging for money. You can't go 1 block in New York without somebody, like 5 people asking you for money.
Really?
But where I live at, ain't nobody asking you for no money.
Really?
Nobody's asking you for no money where I live at.
I'm trying
I
to
say in
think.
the whole
You mean like
entire
people
time.
who are houseless asking you for money in
like,
New York?
Yeah, like homeless people coming up to you all the time and things like that. That is not happening where I live at. You don't. As a matter of fact, you don't even see that where I live at.
I mean, I've had some experiences here on the continent where I was just like, excuse? I had
Really?
to Christmas
Ooh.
in Nairobi. I like Christmas in Nairobi because the city is empty. It's nobody there. It's quiet. There's no traffic. Folks was like, where is Christmas? Where is Christmas? I was like, what? I mean,
Do you know Santa?
no.
You need to go find him. You better go find
It's
Santa.
a problem. It's a problem because the receptionists, 2 of they're guards, but they sit at the reception desk at my gym, and they really only got 2 jobs. One is to greet me, and the other is to open the door so I can get in, and they don't even do that. So I had a moment where I was like, are you really asking me for something? You haven't done this, you haven't done that. They were like, oh, those were different guards. Those were the night guards. I said, I only come here in the daytime. What?
Wow.
No, people, even the boater rider who I've only taken twice was like, where is Christmas?
At Santa's house.
I was like, Christmas ain't gone.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no,
No,
but
we didn't have that.
in
Sorry,
Arusha.
sis.
So you haven't had anybody come and ask you to help pay for school fees or anything?
There is somebody who was telling me that they had difficulty with school fees, and I volunteered to help them with school fees. This is a young lady who she's highly intelligent. She's a teenager. And I said, I need her to go to this specific school. So raise the money to be able to send her. I give thanks for the people that sent the money, and she went and acing it. So she's doing really well. So, and I'm doing my best to be able to help more children, that are like her, to really be able to go to the school that they really want to go to, that they're going to be paying attention because they want to be there. They're not forced to go to some other school that they really don't want to go to, or it doesn't have what it is that they're really interested in.
Got you. I feel like that's part of the African experience, just paying for somebody else's school fees, children that are not your own, because I was doing that for a while in Kampala. Yeah,
school fees are, to me, they seem a little high for the country. They do. They seem a little high, Sometimes I don't know where they even get the money for
Girl, it's
school
like
fees. I'm like, how did you do that?
there's
That is
so many people, including immigrants, like ourselves, who are homeschooling their kids because these school fees, now granted, you're not going to send your kids to, the local, let's just call it public school for lack of a better word, right? But people want to send their kids to these international schools, and them joints 40,000 a year USD, 30,000 a year. And if you're coming here and you're starting over, right, and you started maybe even a new profession, you're trying to figure out the market here, you can't afford 30 or 40,000 for your one child. You get a slight discount if you have multiple children. So that's why, people will come here and they'll teach at an international school so that their kids can go for free, right? Or they have these homeschool communities.
Right, yeah. So I really, I do whatever I can also to help, like teaching mindfulness to the children. And then giving them the real on what is outside of Africa, and not allowing this fantasy of, oh, America is a dream place. Oh, Europe is a dream. No, let's talk about the reality of these places. Let's talk about how they got hit by COVID. Let's talk about how, the money that they make, they have to spend it right away on just to live, just to keep a roof over their head.
Hand to mouth.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hand to mouth existence.
I let them know like that Africa is so rich in so many ways. I mean, it's layered, y'all. It's layered.
Did Tanzania meet your expectations? Did it exceed your expectations?
It exceeded.
Okay.
It was way beyond, because see, I didn't know Tanzania. Y'all, I packed my stuff and was like, peace, I'm out. Contacted traveling sister. I was like, I'm on my way. She's like, come on.
How did it exceed your expectations?
Number one, the way it looks. I couldn't believe the color of the birds.
Yeah.
When I saw neon blue birds flying, I was like, what is really going on here? And the amount of flowers, I didn't think that it would be this many flowers all over the place. I mean, it's like it's paradise. It's literally paradise. Like, that's how it exceeded. I thought I was just going to end up like, there were going to be more dirt roads. There was going to be more chaos and things like that. But that was not the case at all. At all.
So let's just let the people know that you're not new to this. What other countries in the world had you been to before you settled in Tanzania?
I have been to Ghana, Ethiopia, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria.
All Africa. What about Cuba? Had you been to Cuba?
I've been to Cuba. I've been to Puerto Rico, and I've been to Jamaica, Trinidad. So I've been to like a lot of different places. And I would say that I'm really, really glad that I went to Nigeria.
Okay.
Because Nigeria has very beautiful places and has like straight up street grit.
Okay.
So I'm so glad that I was able to see that, because then once I went through that, I was able to go anywhere. Anywhere.
India?
India.
Yeah, you forget these places. You forget everywhere you travel. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of places before I decided to move to Tanzania. However, thank goodness for the footage that had been taken by Traveling Sister and other people that had been here before me and was posting, oh, this is what Tanzania looks like. That's what helped me a whole lot. And the fact that they were giving real prices.
Okay.
That helps so much to say, this is going to cost you this. This is going to cost you that. Okay. And literally show you, because image to me means a lot. Right. So Doing that helped greatly also in helping me solidify Tanzania, Africa.
I love that. So for someone who is ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
they not just on the fence, but they ready to go. What is your advice?
Visit.
Visit first.
Visit first.
You visited TZ first?
I did not.
Well,
I did not,
okay,
and
but-
I stayed. However, for the majority of the people that I noticed that come here to Tanzania and just want to stay, those are the people that end up leaving because they don't have enough experience of the different culture.
Okay.
It is a completely different culture here than from the West. So I think not only seeing just Tanzania, but also seeing other places as well. Come to Kenya, go to Zambia, go to Rwanda, go to Uganda. All those places are surrounding Tanzania. So you have options to be able to see, just so much. And Tanzania is huge.
It is a big country.
Oh, it's a big country. It's huge, huge.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much to see. So I would say visit and then just feel it around.
What people don't know is that if you're not from this region, other East Africans will make lighthearted jokes about Tanzanians because they be like, they move so slow. When it comes to business, they show up 3 hours late, this, that, and the third. I mean, there's no malice in it, but that's kind of like what I noticed to be a running joke in East Africa about Tanzanians. So when you say like there's peace,
Yes.
you know what I mean, and you practicing mindfulness, so you're not going over there and flipping your wig because people are not moving fast enough.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
That's
because
something to consider.
People come and then they're impatient with them, or why is this person? They took my order. Why are they taking so slow? All kinds of things like that. Oh my God, my ride was supposed to be here. Why isn't my ride here? They were supposed to be here an hour ago. You really have to learn the culture first before you start pointing the finger. And then, what is the lesson?
Okay.
What is the lesson in this? Did I do enough research? Maybe I didn't do enough research. So then it's not on them, it's their culture. Maybe it's on me because I didn't do my research.
Okay, or maybe it's just not for you because
it may not be for someone.
God bless y'all. I love Tanzanians and TZ, but I just knew it was not for me. You know what I'm saying? You go into a shop, people be sleep on the floor.
Yes.
I mean, like,
yes.
And there's reasons for that. There's a lack of enforcement of labor laws. There's really low pay, but it's like, sis, can you get up? Because I want, I want this thing right here. Then, what is it? Pristine Airways? Is it Pristine?
Oh, Precision.
Precision Airways. Paid for my ticket. Got to the airport. They was like, boo, you're not on the manifest. I had to buy a whole new ticket and then wait a month to get a refund for the first ticket that I bought. And then on the way to the airport, my Uber shows up. He shows up on time, but he runs out of gas. He runs out of gas right as he's pulling into the gas station. So somebody had to push us. When we got to the gas station, this is early in the morning. Just picture this, okay? Just picture you've got all of these, we'll call them gas tanks, right? There's a chair next to each one. So here you don't pump your own gas. They pump the gas for you. So the chair is for the attendant. It was a big gas station. All of the attendants was bundled up in a blanket and sleep, girl. I was like, what is happening? I'm gonna be late to the airport. And I get there and I'm not on the manifest. So anyway, anywho, so I appreciate your perspective because you're at a point in your life where this is what you want. Would you chalk that up to age or just your way of being?
I think it was just the way I was raised. I think it was just, I just think it's just how I am. It's not like I didn't have to learn patience. I still had to learn patience, even though I'm patient. I still had to learn to be compassionate to people that I may thought didn't need compassion.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I practice that still every single day. A craft or a mastery of your craft doesn't mean you don't practice. You still practice for the rest of your life, right? So I still practice those things. It's just that I think from going to different places in Africa, it helped me know that this is going to be a different culture. This is going to have to be something, there's going to be a learning curve in this. So I'm going to have to be open and patient no matter what.
Okay, I appreciate that because I feel like at this stage in my life, I'll be 50 next year. I'm just slowing down. You know, it's not important for me to go out on New Year's. It's not important for me to be in the streets. I don't have FOMO. You know, when you're a younger person and you just hitting the streets for the first time, you have FOMO. You got to be out there. But, you know, that's why I know I'm getting to a point where eventually I will transition to the coast. And I'll be fine with my garden. You know what I'm saying? I'll be fine knowing my neighbors. You know, I have my casual friends at the market, and that will be my life. Right now, I'm in a space where it's like, okay, I can go back and forth. But definitely, I wouldn't have been able to move to the coast, let's say, at 20-something or 30-something. Or a place like Arusha.
I think I love the culture so much that I think after 30, I still would have been able to do it. You know, to be with the Maasai people, to go to their ceremonies, to hear them sing, especially the women singing and all of that. I love it. I love the slower pace. It's just, it's who I am, I guess.
For anybody listening who wants to just slow down, you know, I would definitely suggest Arusha specifically over Dar. Dar es Salaam is the capital. Dar is chaotic, and I feel like, honestly, this is no shade. This is no shade. Just living in Zanzibar, when people would tell you they're going to Dar, right, which is the mainland, it's a flex for them. I went to the doctor in Dar. I went shopping in Dar. I went to the dentist in Dar. You know what I mean? It's a flex. And when I finally got to Dar, I was like, this is a big town. I didn't feel like it was a metropolis. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's no shade. There's a couple of places that, you know, most people want to go out, and then it's a wrap. Unless you want to go to like a little small juke joint type of spot, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Dar is like, it's just a place, to me, it's like, it's just a place to get what it is that you want. Because when they're importing things, it's hitting Dar. So you can get everything you want in Dar and then just bring it home. You know, but to actually say, oh yeah, Dar is like the city. And if you come from America, you're going to say no. No, it's like a big town.
And one of the things I think our people should also know is that Africa is developed in pockets. That obviously that is changing, and you know, who's to say that a city should have skyscrapers? You know what I mean? Our cities do not have to be like they are in the U.S. and Canada, etc. But there's development in pockets in most cities, so it's not going to be a sprawling metropoli. And we probably don't want that, because with sprawling comes pollution.
That's right.
Right? Well, I am so glad I was able to get you on here. You're definitely sharing a different perspective, and you heard her right, okay? If you are a really particular individual, you know exactly what you want and what you need. You should probably visit first before you settle. Did I do that? Okay, I did travel to Zanzibar first. Yeah, I actually did. I went to Zanzibar for my birthday, then decided to move there. I visited Kampala on vacation, then decided to move there. Same with Kenya. I am that very particular person, right? And if I haven't visited, I'm always going to think, what's better? What's better around the corner?
And I would say, just as also to add on to that, learn the law. Learn the law. Number one, how long can you stay in a particular country? Find that out first. What is the dress code? Those types of things, find that out first. And how much it costs to really stay in that country before you even go. I'm serious. Like, even before you get on the airplane, like, find out what is the law of that country, because you don't want to do something that, you know, could get you into trouble that we would normally do wherever we come from.
Okay. And there you have it. Thank you so much. Oh my God. For those of you who are listening on Spotify, like, she just, you know, she's doing a lot over here with the fingers and the flour and the juice. But thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Blacks to Africa. I really hope that you are inspired, empowered, and also entertained to Blacks to Africa. Peace, y'all.
Peace.